Hi, folks. I'm super excited to share that this episode is all around the long-awaited Windows 365 boot feature, which is now available in public preview. And I'm joined by the people from Redmond and India that built the feature in the last year or so. So before we start, please make sure to subscribe on our Windows IT Pro YouTube channel to stay up to date about all the latest news about Windows 365. And if you have any questions for the team, please make sure to post them in the link below on this webpage. With that, I'm super excited to be joined by various members of the Windows Shell team, as well as our own Windows Cloud Experiences team. And not everybody knows this, but I've worked with this team as well over the last 1.5 years or so to build this Windows 365 boot feature. So this episode feels very special to me as well. So hi team, how are you doing? So Lena, can you maybe introduce yourself first?
Thanks, Christian. I'm Alina, and I'm a PM on the Windows 365 End User Experience team, responsible for delivering Windows 365 boot, along with the Superstar V team we have here with us today. And just excited to be here and talk to you about Windows 365 boot. So thanks for having us.
Here, thanks, Alina. Rinku, can you explain what you're doing in the team?
Hi. So I'm a product manager with Windows Shell team. I'm responsible for delivering boot to cloud from a Windows Shell perspective. I'm super excited to be on this call all the way from India.
Here, thanks. Ajit, can you go next?
Thank you, Christian. I work in Windows Shell team and part of the Cloud PC integration team where we are building seamless, best-in-class user experiences.
It's great to have you as well on this call. And Andrew, can you go as last as part of this team?
Sure. Hi, I'm Andrew. I am one of the software architects on the Windows 365 team when it comes to manageability and the Windows 365 boot experience.
Yeah, it's really excited to see you all on this call. So, as I said in the beginning, it feels really special to me to have this Core V team as part of this episode. There are way more people worked on this feature, as you all know. But this is just one of the parts, the group that built the important pieces to release this Windows 365 boot feature now in public preview. So before we start explaining what Windows 365 boot is, we want to take a step back and explain as well what Windows 365 is as a service and why we created Windows 365 boot as part of the vision of Windows 365 to bring Windows to the cloud. So one of the important quotes that Satya Nadella shared during the announcement of Windows 365 was, with Windows 365, we created a complete new category, the Cloud PC, bringing the operating system to the cloud for the first time so you can stream the full Windows experience to any device. So you can think of it as Windows computers with Azure computing, blurring the lines between Windows and Windows 365. So that's exactly what Windows 365 boot is. We create a new experience in Windows to boot straight to your Cloud PC. And Alina is going to explain you exactly what it means. But before we are going into that, so there are more features coming in the near-term future, such as Windows 365 Switch, that are built upon that vision as well. So now we shared why we created Windows 365 boot. Alina, can you share a little bit what Windows 365 boot exactly is to the audience?
Yeah, so Windows 365 boot really just lets the admin configure your Windows 11 device so that users can actually bypass their physical device login and sign in directly into the Windows 365 Cloud PC on their physical device. So it makes it super seamless and easy for end users to log in directly to their Cloud PC as they would on their local device. So when the user turns on their physical device, Windows 365 boot takes them straight to the Windows 11 logons and sign-in experience. And then once they sign in, they're directly connected to Windows 365 Cloud PC with no extra steps in between.
Well, that sounds pretty awesome. Go directly to your Cloud PC from the Windows 11 initial logon screen. That's something that has never been done before. So I'm pretty excited about sharing this to the audience here. What are the main use cases of Windows 365 boot you see for customers to consider?
Yeah, so with the first version of Windows 365 boot, we really focused on the shared PC scenarios. So multiple users can actually use the same physical device to sign into their own personal Cloud PC. So the flexibility here is great. It's a good solution for shift workers, nurses, call centers who share company physical devices.
That's great. So Rinku, you are like closely working with Alina. Can
Yeah.
you share a little bit like what the supported options and software is on the background? Like what are the hardware requirements for Windows 365 boot? For example, is Teams audio and video redirection, is that supported as part of this solution?
Yes, Christian. So Teams audio video optimization is supported. The calls will be just as smooth as taking it on your physical mission. On top of that, there are no special hardware requirements. Any existing hardware that supports Windows 11 enterprises are supported. And the exciting part is even the ARM64 devices are supported.
Oh, that's great. So you're saying if you have devices that are efficient and are ARM based, that just works with Windows 365 boot as well.
Yes, yes. All you need to do is make sure Windows 11 Enterprise is installed. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, that's amazing. So I think the audience has heard a lot about Windows 365 boot now and is really excited about seeing it in action. So Andrew, can you explain how you can configure Windows 365 boot in the Microsoft Intune portal?
Sure, Christian, I'd be happy to. First, let's configure my test tenant for Windows 365 boot using our new Intune guided scenario. This guided scenario will create the resources needed to quickly get started with Windows 365 boot, including app deployments, configuration profiles, and an autopilot profile. Once the guided scenario is complete, all of the resources can be found in the places you expect them to be, allowing you to perform additional modifications as needed for your environment. On this first page, you can see that we have some basic settings for you to configure for autopilot and the names of the resources we will be creating. The device name template is completely optional, but may be helpful to help you organize your Windows 365 boot devices. Here, I am adding a prefix to my resources to make them easier to find in the future if I need to make changes to them. You can also see a preview of all of the resources we'll be creating through this guided scenario. Next, we'll be creating a Windows Update ring for our Windows 365 boot devices. This is needed to make sure that these devices will continue to stay up to date in accordance with your company's policies. I will modify the update deferral settings, active hours, and the update deadline settings. Additional settings can be modified after completing the guided scenario if you need more advanced control over your device's update behavior. This page allows you to apply additional optional settings like Wi-Fi profiles, VPN profiles, and preferred language. Adding these will make it easy for your users to be productive as soon as they enroll their devices. Finally, let's decide what group we want these resources to be assigned to. You can assign it to a new group or to an existing group. For this example, let's just make a new group. How about marketing? On second thought, how about we make it a little bit more descriptive so it's easier to find, like marketing W365 boot. Lastly, let's take a look at all the resources that will be created to make sure that everything makes sense. Here you can see that all of the resources we'll be creating are listed at the bottom, and everything looks pretty good. There's details about what's being created and what the names will be. If we're happy with everything, we can click the blue check mark and we're done. Now, we briefly wait for all of our resources to be created and assigned. Once you see the notification at the top, our tenant setup is complete. Now let's move on to setting up our device. So let's quickly get this device set up. To use Windows 365 boot, I need to enroll this device in the Windows Insider program. So let's go to Windows Update, Windows Insider program, and let's click Get Started. Here I'm going to link a Microsoft account that is already enrolled in the Windows Insider program. You could also technically use an AAD account if that AAD account is registered with the program. But yeah, let me type in my account here and let me type in my password. Okay, and then when I click sign in, you should see this update with my account. And I'm going to pick the beta channel and continue, and then restart now. Okay, and once we do this restart, which should be really quick on this device, then we will log in here with my password. Okay. Once we get back to the desktop, okay, great. Then we're going to launch settings again, and we're going to go to Windows Update. And we'll go to the Windows Insider program page. But just to make sure that we've set things correctly, yep, you can see that there's a build waiting for me. That's great. Let me go ahead and go to Windows Update and check for updates. As a side note, if you want to do this for your organization or for a larger group, you don't need to do what I just did here. You can also control Windows Update through the Manage Preview Builds configuration profile or through the Windows Update rings policy. Both of those allow you to control Windows Update to receive Windows Insider builds without needing to actually set up every individual device. But what I did here was great for just testing this on a small number of devices. But use those policies if you want to roll this out more broadly. Okay, and yeah, there we go. There's the cumulative updates for Windows 11 Insider Preview. So now that we're all set, we're just going to download this update and we'll be all set. Okay, so let's assume that you finished downloading and installing the latest Windows Insider Preview build from the beta channel. Once you finish that, you're going to need to wipe this device in order to get it back to its initial setup screen, or UBI. You can do this in Intune, or you can just do it from the device itself. This device setup is only needed now in preview because the required Windows components are not yet fully shipped. Alternatively, you can find the ISO for the latest Windows Insider Beta Channel build online and just flash that to your device.
So thanks, Andrew. This is great and very simplified and easy. And this is as well the flow that customers need to follow when we are generally available. But right now we are public preview and we require the endpoint to be joined to the Windows Insider's preview ring. So can you explain what the steps are to onboard inside the Insider's ring to this audience?
Sure, happy to. So as you mentioned, since this is public preview, we require that you enroll your devices into the Insider program, specifically that your devices join and get the latest Windows Insider program beta channel build. To do that, you can click on the link that we have in the description, which will talk to you more about what it looks like to join the program. Once you register your account in through this page, you can go to settings and enroll those devices into the Insider program. Alternatively, you can use Intune to deploy a manage preview builds policy to enroll devices into the Insider program, or use the Windows update rings to configure that.
Okay, so yeah, I see on the screen here, very easy. Just go to Windows Updates, click on Windows Insiders program, and then log on with your account there. And then several reboots need to happen, right, before the actual ring is being applied to your endpoint. Is that correct?
That's right. So the first thing after you go onto your device and go to Windows Update and in Windows Insider Preview page, you will opt in your device to receive Insider builds. Then it'll prompt you to get a reboot. After your device reboots, you would go to that page again and check for updates. And you should have an update waiting for you to download and configure your device to the most recent Windows Update beta channel build. After that point, we recommend that you wipe the device to get it set up for Windows 365 boot.
And I think that's the moment when the enrollment status page kicks in, right? And walks the user kind of through the different steps that will be configured to enable Windows 365 boot.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. So once you're at that beginning page again on your device, you'll essentially, if your device is registered for autopilot, when your users go through the out-of-box experience, they will immediately be placed in the enrollment status page experience where they will download the necessary apps and policies necessary to receive Windows 365 boot. So essentially, your users will see straight from the login screen, they will go directly to their Windows 365 boot device without ever seeing the desktop.
Yeah, that's amazing. And before we show that as well to this audience, what about Windows Auto Patch and Defender for Endpoint? Are those solutions preferred to use in conjunction with Windows 365 boot?
Oh, yes, both of those are available, and you can configure those through their normal pages in Intune.
Okay, amazing. Hey, thanks, Andrew. Really comprehensive demo, and I think really helpful for the audience here to kickstart Windows 365 boot in their environment. So now I would like to see the end-user experience. So Ajit, can you walk the audience here through like the end-user experience, the boot experience, and how it all lights up in the Cloud PC and beyond that as well?
Hello folks, I'm super excited to present Boot to Cloud PC shared experience today. We have built the whole new Windows sign-in experience for you. The sign-in screen is customized for shared use case, which is very personalized for Boot to Cloud PC. It is fresh, intuitive, and beautiful. The screen does not show previously logged on users. It is respecting the shared nature of use. A special message is added at the bottom of the screen saying your data will be stored on the cloud. All the other standard Windows sign-in screen UI controls can be accessed, for example, keyboard layout, basic Wi-Fi configuration, accessibility settings, and power options to have the familiar experience. Once the device is successfully connected to the internet, the user enters their username and password. Right now, we are mainly targeting Azure Active Directory authentication. As soon as the local device authentication completes, we see an interstitial screen saying connecting to Cloud PC. Our team has put a lot of effort to have a seamless transition from the local device sign-in screen to Cloud PC desktop, like preserving the same text and background styling. Cancel button is given to the user to come out of the sign-in flow at any point of time. Currently, the connecting to Cloud PC screen takes up to 30 seconds to connect to Cloud PC with 2 minutes default timeout. But we are working on improving the time day by day. Once the user is inside their Cloud PC, it is seamless, well integrated, and feels like their own personal device. Users can make changes to their documents, attend meeting calls, use audio video feature, and can browse the internet with superior speed. If the user wants to take a break and wants to go away from the device, use the lock feature to lock the device. Once locked, the user can unlock the device using their password. In case there is an urgency and another user has to step into the locked machine, the disconnect button can forcefully log out the previous user. Even during this, the previous user's data will be stored on the Cloud PC. Once the user is done with their work, they can simply disconnect from the Cloud PC session. All the apps are still running in the Cloud PC and user is safely disconnected from the device. Now it's time for the next user to log in. This summarizes the high-level end-user experience. Hope you enjoyed it. On behalf of whole team, we would like you to try the product and provide us feedback. Thank you.
And this is really great. Ajit, as well as the rest of the Windows Shell team, you guys did an amazing job to build and create this like really new modern experience to connect from local to cloud. And I personally think this is like the future of connecting to Windows in a device experience that has not or never been seen before, creating the option to connect compute and cloud computing together as one in kind of the future of cloud computing coming from Microsoft. So how can people learn more? Like, this was already great, very deep dive information and such, but how can people like IT pros watching this episode learn more and go deeper even into the content, Alina? Is there a blog article or something you can point them to?
Yeah, so we definitely do have some great documentation created by this team. This will be at learn.microsoft and support.microsoft.com. But we just released a new blog post on the Windows IT Pro channel. And this is created also by the team. You can find it on aka.ms/Windows365 public preview, linked in the description below.
Thanks, Alina. This is great content to follow up as IT admins would like to go deep into technology. So how can people stay in touch with you after this session as well on social media and such?
Yeah, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn at Elena Luthra.
Thanks. And Rinku, how can people stay in touch with you?
So you can reach out to me both on LinkedIn as well as Twitter. My ID is Rinku Stephen.
Great. And Ajit, what about you?
Feel free to reach out to me by searching Ajit Surana Microsoft and feel free to connect with me.
Thanks. And last but not least, Andrew, how can people stay in touch with you?
People can follow me on LinkedIn. Just search for Andrew Miyasato. Happy to connect and happy to help.
Well, this was great. Really thank you for being part of this unique episode and celebrate the moment that Windows 365 boot is ready. A great team effort with lots of people involved, and especially you, Ajit and Rinku, joining from India right now while we are here in Redmond. So thank you for spending time and translate the knowledge to the IT Pro audience. And thank you, the audience, as well, for watching. And please ensure to go to windowsinthecloud.com to stay up to date about all the latest news of Windows 365 and the other episodes we have. And we hope to see you back next time. So thank you for watching.